Welcome to Freedom to Fuel, the talk show that will energize how you think about your utilities. Brought to you by Huntsville Utilities and the American Public Gas Association. Coming to you this week from the Harborside Ballroom of the Hyatt Regency in Savannah, Georgia, I'm Todd Long with the Huntsville Utilities Orchestra, introducing your host, the Colonel, John Olszewski.
Stuart's here with us.
I am.
We've been trying to get you for a while, so Todd, tell us a little bit about Stuart without him having to tell it.
Okay, Stuart Saulters is the Vice President of Government Relations for the American Public Gas Association. He manages the APGA's engagement in legislative and regulatory affairs, aiming to advance the goals of public natural gas utilities, and guides the association's efforts in messaging and advocating for balanced energy solutions around the United States. He holds a civil engineering degree from Mississippi State University and has in-depth experience in the pipeline and refinery industries. His latest book, Legislation Smegislation, is currently a New York Times bestseller. Please welcome Stuart Saulters.
Well, how'd you like that? Did you know you had a good book out there?
No, I got autographed copies. If you want to stop, I'm happy to autograph anybody's copy.
Well, before we even get into business, Stuart's married to a wonderful lady that's a doctor. What's she a doctor of?
She is a general practitioner, so basically does more hospital medicine, and so she doesn't have a clinic or anything, but she would want me to tell you that her passion is medical education, and so she's actually the program director for the internal medicine residency at a University of Maryland hospital.
Wow.
So she loves teaching. If you've ever seen Grey's Anatomy, she doesn't do all that happens in Grey's Anatomy, but there is some aspects of Grey's Anatomy that are true in terms of, you have your attending physician with the little gaggle that runs around. So she's that attending physician.
So you got two little ones.
I do, yeah. Yeah.
What's the ages and names?
Yeah, so both November birthdays. So our daughter will be 4 this November. Her name is Birdie. And our son will be 2 this November. His name is Jack.
Now, Todd just read all that. Tell us really in English what you really do.
Yeah, it's always awkward when somebody reads your bio in front of you. So I don't know what the cameras picked up, my awkward face. But no, I've been with APGA 3 years now. Started as actually the director of regulatory affairs, but through a series of events was able to become the vice president of government relations in 2020. And my job is to lead our government relations team. So I have 2 folks that work for me, great folks. One woman does, Renee, she focuses on the regulatory aspect of what we do. And then Emily focuses on the legislative aspect. And so all of us kind of work together, thinking through how to both engage policymakers on the issues important to APGA, and then try to get the outcomes that benefit you all as APGA members on Capitol Hill and then through the administration.
On the joking side of the house, what's it like to have 2 lawyers work for you? Because you're an engineer, and we already know about engineers, right?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's the right brain, left brain. We make a good team.
You do have 2 talented folks that work for you. Yes. We're very blessed to have them.
Yeah.
So we got to hear about it, and my theme this year is Freedom to Fuel. And I'm very strongly, committed to just give me a choice.
Yeah.
Don't make me do something. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I knew we were going to have this conversation, so I kind of prepped a little bit, watched some of the previous episodes. I think for me, just recognizing the affordability aspect of natural gas is critical. And so when you think about, the economy, some of the crazy stuff that's happening on now, allowing Americans to have the choice to choose, and in some aspects choose a more affordable fuel, is critical. You've got folks that are living paycheck to paycheck, having to make tough decisions, and to take that decision away from them for whatever reason, that's crazy. And so ensuring that Americans have the right to choose and then choose affordable fuels is so critical.
Well, Stuart acts like he's calm and cool and innocent over here, but Stuart drugged me into a cyber meeting once, and I walked in, and here I am, just a Huntsville utility guy, and he sits me at a table with these 6 CEOs that all of them are making $6-7 million a year, and I said, Stuart, what the heck? But what I've learned from it is the importance of cyber in our space, and you play the security side, you play that very hard. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so here at APGA, I have the the benefit or the joy of serving as the staff director or the staff liaison for our security task group. And, kind of along with that affordability aspect of natural gas, I think there's an advantage of natural gas over other energy sources in that it's more resilient. Now, you can't take that for granted. You've got to take steps to ensure you've got the threats mitigated from both a cyber and physical security standpoint. And it's exciting to work with our members who I think are being more proactive in ensuring that they're taking steps to, protect against ransomware, protect against other types of attacks. And we have a good relationship with our federal government partners. The meeting that you were at was with the Transportation Security Administration, who has some oversight over pipeline security. We also work with the Department of Energy, who has some aspect over cybersecurity. And so, it's a crazy world out there. There's some bad actors that want to make stuff happen, nefarious stuff happen. And so we've got to be resilient, or we've got to ensure our systems are resilient and protected against those threats. And so it's a challenge, but it's exciting to work with Huntsville Utilities, other APGA members, to try to prevent those attacks and ensure Americans get their energy.
Well, he brought up a word that hadn't been brought up much in all these we've done, is the word resilient.
Yeah.
And when it's all said and done, resiliency is the kingpin, because number one, if we're going to run electric off the electric grid, it's nice to have natural gas as a backup, so that if a hospital or some, the FBI center or something like that goes down, you got the natural gas aspect to take it over. So it was interesting to hear the word resilient.
Right, and the thing that natural gas gets kind of in my opinion, at least, an undeserved bad reputation.
So that's our challenge as the government relations team for APGA is to. That may be your thought today, but let's think about the practical realities of today and ensuring that the constituents that you're representing get that affordable, resilient fuel, and natural gas is clean. And so a lot of what we're doing these days, because there is this perception, is educating on, I get it, maybe there's a opinion within a certain group that natural gas is evil, but let's talk about that. Let's suss that through and say, there's an affordability aspect of this, there's a clean aspect of this, there's a resilient aspect of it. And so I think when we face people like that on Capitol Hill or wherever it may be in the administration, they may listen to us, they may not, but we want to at least have that conversation and educate them on the importance of natural gas.
And Amanda and I were at a conference in Denver last month, and a woman who I want to have her as a guest on the show, and I've got her contact information. She's got all kinds of degrees, and she's super, super smart, and she's a vice president at a utility in Indiana that has set some pretty ambitious zero carbon goals. And she said in her presentation, if you think we're going to achieve these goals without using natural gas, you are sorely mistaken. Wow. We have to have natural gas.
And the thing I want to mention too is to use your double tap. I like that. You used that earlier today. To double tap is let's protect the infrastructure.
Right.
The assets and the people that are so critical to the public gas systems around the U.S. And so natural gas will play a role. But you've got an existing pipeline system, you've got an existing competent workforce. You can't throw those things to the side for some, goal. Let's figure out how to make them as integral to our clean energy future as the fuel that's being sent through the infrastructure.
Well, here's the deal. I don't know if you get up way early in the morning to work out. I get up way early in the morning to have coffee. He's an hour ahead of us. Historically, there's 4 emails every day coming in from Stuart telling us the world's problems and what's going on and all the solutions and all the above. So, Stuart, we thank you for what you do. We appreciate you being on the APGA staff. We see a long future with you. And thanks for spending time with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for having me.
Freedom to Fuel is produced by Huntsville Utilities in cooperation with the American Public Gas Association. The views expressed by the host and guests do not necessarily reflect those of HU or the APGA. Our audiovisual engineer is Amanda Tomczyk-Kemp with additional production elements provided by Jeffrey Long. If you have a comment or question, post it in the comments below. And remember, the freedom to fuel is only natural.